people will say that catch was a total fluke. But you'll know it was the fabulous top you got for an amazing price at Marshall's. Anything can happen with a top like that.
If you have thyroid eye disease and the pain in your eyes burns like a red-hot chili pepper, it might be time to discover another treatment option. To learn more, visit treatted.com. That's treat, TED.com.
Tomorrow on ET, Magic Mike's making moves we've never seen.
There's a splash zone in the movie.
What? Our Channing Tatum exclusive, his big announcement only on ET.
Happening now.
We're outside Robb Elementary School getting more reaction today to surveillance video of that shooting. We talked to the community about law enforcement's response and how they are rallying around the families.
Their child survived the mass shooting at Robb Elementary. Coming up, what they witnessed inside those classrooms that tragic day and what the families are still having to deal with. Next.
Once again, a lucky few backyards are getting a drink of water from some spotty rain, but coming up, unfortunately, we have to talk about the triple-digit heat continuing. I'll have the details on more records smashed. The news at 5 starts right now.
First at 5, more than 24 hours after surveillance video from inside the halls of Robb Elementary was leaked by the Austin American-Statesman, people are continuing to be upset and stunned by what they've seen.
RJ Marquez now joins us live from Uvalde. And RJ, what are the people around town saying about this video?
Yeah, David and Ursula, obviously still a lot of outrage, a lot of anger over this video's leaked release. And we're outside Robb Elementary right now, where, of course, that tragic video was recorded on May 24th. 19 students killed and 2 teachers. And again, still just a lot of people very upset over what appears to be a leaked video here. So we heard from family members of the victims and the city council last night about their thoughts on the video. And many were just in disbelief about seeing it for the first time today. People told me on and off camera they feel that it's unfair to the families for that video to have been released with little to no warning.
They're trying to get back to some type of normal, which is going to be hard to do, but they should have just left it alone until everything was done with. All the investigation, put it all together. If the families want to know what happened, exactly what happened, then that would be up to them.
I thought it was wrong. I mean, the victims' families, they should have seen it first, but still, it was just wrong. It was just wrong to show everybody.
I saw the video when it first came out, and I mean, you hear the actual gunshots, and you know what's going on. It angers you. Not just that, I mean, just the police response itself, that adds more to it.
And so as you could hear right there, many of these residents, the majority of them still very upset over that leaked video. Now, the State Investigative Committee is still planning to show the victims, the family members here, the video on Sunday and also give them the preliminary report as well. And they'll also be able to ask questions as well. And tonight at 6, we're going to follow up a little bit more on this. You'll hear more from people in Uvalde about whether their trust in local law enforcement has been broken after seeing police officers' response in that video for the very first time. Reporting live in Uvalde, RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, RJ. Another thing that Uvalde families have been questioning is what is going to happen at the start of the new school year. According to Uvalde CISD, the first day of school is August 15th. That's about a month away. And with that in mind, a letter was sent to parents today explaining the district's adjustment of campuses and realigning grade levels to better suit campus capabilities. Students pre-K through 2nd grade will now be attending Dalton Elementary. 3rd and 4th graders will go to the Benson Education Complex. 5th and 6th graders will attend Flores Elementary. Now, this letter also states a school year calendar adjustment is going to be proposed at a board meeting happening on Monday, but it did not clarify what that adjustment may be. You can read more about the changes on KSAT.com.
Last night, Uvalde City Council formally accepted the resignation of District 3 Councilman Pete Arredondo. Arredondo, who was sworn in days after the shooting, resigned earlier this month. His council seat will be up for election on November 8th. Arredondo still holds his title as Uvalde CISD Chief of Police. However, he was placed on administrative leave following the shooting.
I'm up here because I'm
I'm begging you to make a change.
An emotional plea for action coming from Angel Garza, the father of one of the Robb Elementary school shooting victims.
Garza, part of a national call to action happening in the nation's capital today.
People from all over the country, including Uvalde, Illinois, and Florida, all rallying in D.C. today, demanding action on gun reform. Part of their message, enough is enough. These groups are calling on Congress to raise the age limit to purchase assault rifles from 18 to 21. And many of them, like Oscar Arona and Kimberly Rubio, who who had children in that shooting in Uvalde, sharing their personal experience to convey their message to lawmakers.
Then the next thing he saw was one of his classmates basically taking her last breaths and gurgling blood through her mouth and her nose. I don't wish this on anyone.
Now I want you to picture my face, my husband's face, as we read our daughter's death certificate. Our faces contorted in pain, tears flowing freely as we read her cause of death. Gunshot wound to the head. They wonder what would happen if there had been no AR-15 on site. And Arona says his son, even if he gets a lifetime of therapy, he will never be the same. And each day, a struggle for their family. Tonight at 6, we're going to hear more from the people who attended today's rally from Uvalde, including what one man had to say about Texas lawmakers.
Back here in San Antonio, Crime Stoppers and San Antonio police are looking for new information to help solve a murder mystery that is just a few days shy of being unsolved for 5 years. It is the case of the murder of Christopher Lozano. San Antonio police say he was shot on El Paso Street near Castroville Road in South Zarzamora. It happened back on July 27th in 2017. Police say Lozano was outside a home when someone inside a gray Nissan allegedly fired at that home. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 210-224-STOP.
2 people in the hospital following a crash on Highway 90 this morning. San Antonio police say it happened around 6 in the morning. A woman's vehicle either stopped or was at a near stop when she was struck from behind by an SAPD patrol vehicle.
This was near Couples Road on the west side. She was taken to the hospital. The officer may have suffered a concussion and was also hospitalized. It's unclear why the woman's car was at a halt, but we do now know that her hazard lights were on.
With temperatures around 103 right now, not too many people are going to be on the roads commuting, is my guess. We're looking at a number of different spots. It looks like traffic's moving along fine. You can almost hear the air conditioners humming.
And no secret here, it is hot outside, and all this heat prompting the Electric Reliability Council of Texas, better known as ERCOT, to call for extended conservation hours.
Today, ERCOT asking people and businesses to voluntarily conserve electricity until 9 o'clock tonight. That means turning up your thermostat a degree or 2, unplugging appliances not in use. ERCOT says it does not expect, though, any system-wide outages today, at least not yet. It's a tough day.
Absolutely, and it's going to continue to be just as hot, maybe a couple of degrees cooler, but just as hot over the coming days. 105 right now in Warren's backyard in Del Rio, 102 in Eagle Pass, 103 in Floresville, 102 in Windcrest, and 104 in Mico. There's a couple of things that we're going to talk about on the forecast. So one thing is, of course, going to be the fact that that triple-digit heat is going to continue. We also will have slightly better rain chances tomorrow. But don't get your hopes up too much. And then finally, Saharan dust. We've got to talk about it returning in the forecast. I'll tell you when that Saharan dust will return, and we'll take a look at radar right now. Some people getting some rain in their backyards.
And speaking of the heat, the Edwards Aquifer Authority addressing current conditions for the aquifer and concerns for the future.
Today, the EAA said the aquifer is at its lowest level since 2014, and things could get worse if the drought continues. And then by August, the EAA believes that the aquifer will fall below 630. That's about 30 feet below normal level. Roland Ruiz, the general manager of the EAA, says there are more ways than one to help you conserve water.
be mindful of how you use water in the house. Shorten your showers and bath time, if you will. Also run full loads of dishes and in your dishwasher and in clothes in your clothes, washing machines. That way you're maximizing the use of the water and not wasting water. Simple things like when you brush your teeth, don't leave the water running.
He also says making sure you are following outdoor water restrictions is a key.
Only water on your days, and when you do, do it early in the morning or late in the evening. You can read more about this on KSAT.com.
How about some good news? The city of Kirby has rescinded its boil water notice. It was first put in place on Friday after the city's water service was down due to a combination of issues. Again, if you live in Kirby, the city says you no longer need to boil your water before consumption.
Omicron still has a pretty tight grip on the summer, but right now officials say that the BA.5 subvariant now makes up more than an estimated 65% of new cases. The U.S. reporting more than 118,000 new cases a day. That's up 11% over the past week, marking the highest daily case average since mid-February. And CDC models predicting that hospitalizations are expected to increase in the weeks to come as the BA.5 variant spreads.
Anytime you see hospitalizations go up, obviously deaths go up, we pay very, very close attention. We want to avoid serious illness. The best way to avoid that is for people to go out and make sure that they're up to date on their vaccines. If they have not gotten a shot in 2022, they should go and get one.
The White House hinting the FDA and CDC may soon expand eligibility for that second booster shot, which right now is only open to people over 50.
Now to your money. June's Consumer Price Index report showing the U.S. inflation rate remains at a 40-year high at 9.1%. Food and rent among the top things people are paying more for right now. Analysts say the average person is spending an extra $493 per month on the same goods than they were last year. Things that have recently gone down a little bit: wheat, global shipping, and gas prices. But when it comes to gas prices, experts say it'll likely be short-lived because of summer demand.
A little financial relief is on the way for Southside ISD employees. Check it out. The district is giving all employees an increase in pay after its test scores dramatically improved. Jessica Johnson, who has been with the district for more than a decade, says these extra funds are coming at the right time.
The economy is going out, everything's it's moving, and we have to move along with it. So I as an employee, as a single mother, I'm happy working with Southside that they're able to do that for their staff members.
Perfect timing. This increase isn't just for the current staff. The district now offering the highest pay for first-year teachers in our area. The base rate is about $59,000, and there's room for a $3,000 performance bonus. For more information on that, you can head over to KSAT.com.
Still to come on the news at 5. So how many apps are on your phone? They all have user agreements you've already okayed, but do you know what you have agreed to? Most people don't, and it can be a problem. So we're going to tell you what you should look for the next time you agree to download.
The latest video of the mass shooting inside Robb Elementary bringing up more questions about law enforcement's response. Were the officers waiting in the hallway following their duty, or were they breaking their oath? A law enforcement organization tells us what that oath means and how officers are held accountable.
Plus, here at home, a man who was supposed to get executed today had that execution postponed, and now Ramiro Gonzalez could have his sentence overturned to life in prison. Erica Hernandez has the latest on his case and why an expert witness is saying his testimony in 2006 was inaccurate and false. So how many times have you used an app or signed an agreement and not read the fine print? Maybe you just click I agree and start downloading. But as 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz explains, you may be surprised at what you're agreeing to.
Which app makes you agree not to develop or manufacture nuclear weapons when you accept their terms?
Apple iTunes.
Consumer privacy expert Justin Brookman sees a lot of wacky clauses hidden in user agreements.
You promise not to get drunk on Tumblr's usernames. What does that even mean?
And this one, in the case of a viral infection that causes human corpses to reanimate and likely to result in the fall of civilization.
I guess it means that in the event of a zombie apocalypse, Amazon's not going to sue you. I think in a lot of these cases, the company's lawyers are just having fun.
Fun aside, Brookman says there is a lot buried in agreements that could limit your rights, including some involving posting negative reviews. Take Intel. It says violators will be prosecuted to the maximum extent possible. Intel says it's to protect the company from inaccurate reviews, but hasn't enforced it recently. Many of these clauses may be illegal, but some companies still use them.
I think it's a scare tactic. I think they know that consumers don't necessarily know the law. But if you lie about them, if you defame them, then that's not protected and the companies have a right to sue you for it.
Some go further, saying you can't sue over a dispute, making you resolve issues outside of the courts. AT&T uses this common language. You are waiving the right to a trial by jury or to participate in a class action. AT&T declined to say why they sought to eliminate class actions, but said arbitration is faster and less expensive for consumers. Consumer Reports says that's not fair and suggests buying products that don't require arbitration when resolving disputes. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
Take a look outside with live cam. Do we really see how hot it is? Only if you look at the bug in the corner.
Well, that's true. And you can actually kind of see a haze on the horizon. There is still some humidity out there, although humidity is lower than it was earlier this morning. But yes, it is very hot outside. In fact, once again, we were at 104 or greater. Take a look at how we stacked up for the day. It was 104 for the high temperature. 3 degrees shy of that record set back in 2020 of 110. But back in the summer of 2020, we hadn't had 13 consecutive 100-degree days. The average high this time of year is about 95. One thing I want you to notice is that this morning we got down to 81 degrees. That's it. It was a very humid and warm morning. In fact, we have been above 80 degrees at least since Saturday morning, all the way through 6 p.m. today. That is 4 days and 10 hours where we have not gone below 80 degrees, even in the morning hours. And that is the longest stretch of 80-degree, consistent 80 degrees in San Antonio since at least 1946. So it's not just those afternoon highs that are hot. It's also those morning lows. And take a look outside right now. It's currently 104 in Del Rio, 101 in Uvalde, 106 in Cotulla, 102 here in San Antonio, 103 in New Braunfels. You can notice that it's slightly cooler, but still hot up near Rock Springs, and 94 in Kerrville. As we zoom in here, you can actually see some cauliflowering of some clouds. There was some rain out in Kerr County, and there's currently some rain out in Kerr County right now, but not around San Antonio. 106 in Castroville, 103 in New Braunfels. Let's take a look at the radar right now and show you those isolated storms across Kerr County, just moving into Mountain Home there, just to the west of I-10 and across 41. In western Kerr County. Meanwhile, Camp Wood getting a quick drink of water there from Barksdale to Camp Wood right along 55, and a wider view here in the northern part of Valverde County, seeing some scattered showers and storms along those ranch lands. But it is quiet here in San Antonio. We'll carry a 10% chance for a stray shower storm through about 8 p.m. Now, tomorrow we have slightly better rain chances, but only just about 20% chance for isolated showers and storms. Otherwise, you'll be lucky if you see any kind of rain over the next few days. So this evening, a stray shower through about 8 p.m. 101 at 8 p.m. Still 101, and we're really not going to cool down all that quickly. It'll still be near 90 by midnight after sunset around 8:36. I'm going to show you those slightly better rain chances for the day tomorrow. You really won't see much out there during the first part of the day. It's just going to be sunny, but as we head into about the 5 p.m. hour, a complex of storms in the hill country has the potential to move south and impact parts of the San Antonio metro area, but again, the chances only 20%. Better rain chances across the hill Mayfield country and out west across parts of the Edwards Plateau. So when we look at our KSAT 12-hour forecast, you'll wake up tomorrow. It'll be 80 degrees, 87 at 10, right around noon, 92, and then another triple-digit day, 102 for the high temperature, 20% chance for an isolated shower or storm. Saharan dust does return over the weekend, but big story is there really is not much major relief from the heat and no big rainmakers in our future, guys.
Too bad. Bad news. Thank you.
We're finally getting an idea of what could happen to Deshaun Watson this fall.
Well, this is just unusual because this keeps changing from the amount of games that he could be suspended, and it's getting less, not more. When we come back, a new suspension detail out for Deshaun Watson. We'll have that for you when we come back. And was Baker Mayfield shocked about what happened this offseason to him? Coming up.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
There is a new report out today that says Deshaun Watson's suspension from the NFL for violating the league's personal code of conduct could be as little as 4 to 6 games to start the 2022 season. That's according to ESPN Cleveland, even though the NFL is asking for an indefinite suspension of at least a year without pay for his behavior during massages. The indefinite gives the league extra protection just in case more disturbing issues are uncovered. Following the introduction of the legal briefs from both the NFL and Watson representatives this week, disciplinary hearing officer Sue L. Robinson expected to rule before training camps begin in less than 2 weeks. Remember, the Browns traded 6 draft picks, including 3 first-rounders, in order to land Watson, so there's a lot riding on this decision. Baker Mayfield is no longer a fallback guy for Cleveland. The Browns traded him to Carolina for a 2024 conditional 5th-round pick. In order to make the deal go through, Mayfield agreed to a $3.5 million pay cut, still making $15.5 million, with the Browns paying $10.5 million of that. In his introductory news conference, Baker was asked if he was shocked what went down this offseason.
Yeah, shocked. I'd say it was, pretty much the only way to describe it, but you roll with the punches and you got to move forward. This is a test of adversity and how I'm going to handle it and how I can move forward and be the best teammate possible with our new home. And I'm looking forward to it.
Now, one thing he has to be looking forward to is most here is if he's named the starter for game 1, guess who the first opponent will be? The team that got rid of him, the Browns, at home.
Obviously, it's going to be a special one. It's going to be a home game and playing against a former team. A similar situation of what I've gone through in the past when transferring from college to college. So got to handle it the best way possible. And, my job is to put our team in the best position to win. And however I can help do that, that's what I'm going to do. Remember, after starting out as quarterback for the Texas Tech Red Raiders, Mayfield transferred to Oklahoma after only 1 year in Lubbock. Spurs get a day off, and you will find rookie Malachi Branham in the weight room today in Las Vegas. That's after following the first-round draft pick's bounce-back performance against the Rockets, where he scored his summer league high of 20 points in the 97-84 loss to Houston.
My last 2 games, it wasn't just being aggressive, but also Primo, this next guy step up, so I felt like I did that.
All right, here's the next matchup. Be tomorrow against the Atlanta Hawks, who, by the way, won last night to go to 1-2. Tomorrow, early tip time, though, 2 p.m.
So you had to bring up the Texas Tech transfer.
Sorry about that. He did mention it.
Right. We'll be right back.
Slightly better rain chances tomorrow, but only 20%. Otherwise, hard to find a silver lining here in this forecast, other than temperatures will be a couple of degrees cooler. But over the weekend, Saharan dust does return.
Thank you, Sarah, and thank you for watching the News at 5 with us.
World News is next, and we'll see you back here for KSAT 12 News at 6. Have a great Wednesday evening.